Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be all about the best settings to get you set for Season 4 to make your game still look nice, but also optimize your performance to run as high FPS as possible so that your game's not crashing out and bugging out and screen tearing all over the place. First thing we're going to do though is we're not going to do the in-game settings quite yet. I'm going to do something on the NVIDIA control panel first. If you do not have an NVIDIA graphics card, then I'm sorry, just skip this bit, and I'll put everything timestamped in the description below for you. So I'm not going to blast through what every setting means, but just for sake of quickness, go to Adjust Image Settings with Preview, click Use the Advanced 3D Image Settings, click either Take Me There or click Manage 3D Settings in the top left. In your global settings, so this is going to help you with everything, this is what you're going to want to do. Image Scaling / Image Sharpening's off. I don't care what anyone says, turn it off. Ambient occlusion set to performance, anisotropic filtering, application controlled. FXAA will be off, and gamma correction will be on. Mode, just leave to application controlled, which is fine, and transparency off. Background application, max frame rate, limit to 20 FPS, so that way when you alt-tab out, the game isn't using your GPU to get like 500 frames again. GPUs set to all, system fallback policy, just leave this as driver default. At DSR factors, you want all these off. Low latency mode, you want on, but you can then set it in-game, but this is just good for if a game doesn't have NVIDIA Reflex, this will apply it at a base level for you anyway. Max frame rate, turn this off. Monitor technology, put on fixed refresh rate. I'm not going to go into the whole use G-Sync or FreeSync, just use fixed refresh rate for now. Your multi-frame sampled, you just want turned off, and GDI compatibility set to auto. Your rendering GPU, just set it to your GPU, whichever one you're using. Power management mode, leave this as normal for your global settings. Okay, we'll do it just for WoW in a minute, but leave it as normal, and then preferred refresh rate always just set to highest available. Shader cache size, that's just dependent on your C drive. Go into your file explorer, go click this PC and have a look at how much size you have left on your C drive and set it accordingly. The filtering anisotropic, just turn this on. The negative LOD bias, click allow, and then for texture filtering, put to quality. Again, like, I'm one of these people, I like to have high FPS, but I don't like my game to look absolute dog water, so I still set this to quality, and then we adjust in-game settings accordingly. Trilinear optimization, leave this on. Thread optimization is auto. Triple buffering and vertical sync, turn off. The VR stuff, I don't know. I don't really use VR on my PC. But once you've done that, obviously there'll be a apply button down here, click apply. Then go on to program settings, add in World of Warcraft, which will just appear here for you. If not, click on browse and find it. And then come down and then change your power management mode to prefer maximum performance. So that way when you're in World of Warcraft or for any game, for example, the GPU will use its maximum performance. But then when you're not in the game, it's still running on normal and it's not overheating too much. Come along to the left-hand side and go on to change resolution. Click on your monitor. Make sure it's set to your native resolution, and set your highest refresh rate possible. Then you're going to come down to here, click use NVIDIA color settings. You want highest RGB 8 BPC, and then output dynamic range set to full. Click apply, and you're done. Well, kind of. You're done on that page. Last thing you want to do is adjust desktop size and position. Come down and use the same monitor. Click full screen, not aspect ratio. Click full screen. Perform scaling on display, not GPU. And then make sure your resolution is set to whatever you just set it to in the change resolution tab. Okay, nice and simple. You can go into your adjust desktop color settings and change your digital vibrance should you want to. I can do that. You won't see a difference because it doesn't change in OBS, but I leave it at 50. We are also going to be putting the contrast slightly higher in World of Warcraft, so bear that in mind before you change your digital vibrance. But anyway, click apply if you did change it, and then you're done with this. Close this down. Open up World of Warcraft, go into options, go into graphics, and here we go. We're going to run through these. So your monitor is going to be set to primary, obviously, and your display mode is going to be full screen. Resolution is set to whatever we set it to before, whether that be 2K, 4K, 1080, whatever you do. Render scale, you're going to want to leave it 100%. Vertical sync, disable it, and then low latency mode, put it on reflex plus boost. Anti-aliasing, you want to set to advanced, and then your image-based techniques, you want CMAA2, and then your color depth, your color and its depth are 4 times multiplied. Turn off this alpha test. I don't know what it does, but it's extra resources we don't need. Okay. Now, I don't bother with raid and battlegrounds because of the way these settings work, but as a rule of thumb, set everything to 1. That way it turns off everything. Then the next thing you're going to do is apply the settings that are going to make the most difference. So particle density, you want at ultra. You want your texture resolution up at high, as high as possible. And then projected textures enabled. These will then allow the game to still look good. You'll still see all your projections. You'll still see all the AoEs on the ground. But you've disabled all the little things that don't make a difference but take up a lot of resources. Okay? View distance, environmental detail, ground clutter just set to 1. The view distance is kind of personal preference. If you really want to be able to see far in the distance, set it higher. But again, the more you use it, the more FPS it's going to take up. Coming down to the advanced section, you want triple buffering off. Texture filtering, we just go 4 times again. Ray trace shadows disabled. They take up a lot of resources. Your ambient occlusion is going to be set to Fidelity FX. And then resample quality, if available, set it to Fidelity FX Super Resolution 1.0. VRS mode is just disable that. And then your graphics API, you set to DirectX 12 if you've got it. If not, leave it at DirectX 11. Physics interactions, just turn this off. Graphics card, choose your graphics card. Max foreground, max background, and target, I personally just untick. On our resample sharpness, 0.5 is nice, but you can go all the way if you really want to. But 0.5 works nicely for me. Contrast, we set at 75%. This makes the colors pop a little bit more, and they're a lot less blended in together. If you do that, it adds a kind of brightness to the screen. I think 75 is just nice. You can go up to 80 should you really want. And you see the difference in the colors a lot more, and it feels really good. Brightness, I just leave this at 50%. That's kind of personal preference. And gamma, we just leave on 1. So that's the in-game settings. And as you can see, the game still looks really nice, really sharp, really clean, but without the unessentials, basically. Another thing I'll go through is macros quickly. So you can go into your macros, and there's 3 here, and I'll link them all. You've probably seen them in other videos if you've looked this up before, but I'll leave all 3 in the description for you, so they're there. Camera distance, max zoom factor 2.6. The default is 1.9 for World of Warcraft, so setting this to 2.6, which is the max you can get, just gives you a larger, you can zoom your character out more, basically, so you can see more stuff that's coming in, and projectiles and AoEs and stuff. So it's just good quality of life features, no reason not to have it. The next one is sharpen, which resample always sharpen to 1. It sharpens the game up just to look a little bit more sharp. I feel like I'm saying sharp loads, but you get the point. It sharpens it, and it adds more sort of a sharper feeling. I'm sorry, I can't think of another word for sharp. I apologize. And then the last one is a camera. It's zoom. This one just basically makes it so you zoom in and out a lot smoother. Not very noticeable, but it's just nice to have. So you put these 3 in your macros here, and then just apply them to an action bar down here, and you can just click them to activate them, and they'll just work. All right, and then once you've done it once, you never really have to touch them again, to be honest. But that's how it goes. And like I said, that's going to give you the best performance. You can see here, I'm chilling around 400 FPS. I mean, I'm sat doing nothing right now. But even when this drops, when I'm in a raid and stuff, it's still not going below like 150, which is really nice. And it just keeps me, it keeps the game running nicely. There's no screen tearing or anything like that. And hopefully it helps you perform that a little bit better, whether you're doing Mythic Plus, PvP, whatever. It might help you out a little bit. So anyway, I hope the video helps. If you do enjoy it, drop a like, you know the drill. But yeah, take care and see you on the next one.